I'm not sure if this is a real milestone or it's an imagined milestone, but today is T+34, journal entry 40. Um, it's probably 30 more journal entries than I thought I'd ever make. Uh, but nevertheless, it's May 6th. Today was a clinic day, and I've mentioned this before, but I don't know to paraphrase the Led Zeppelin, good times, bad times. I've seen my share. Um, when I wake up in the morning, I know whether my numbers are low, uh, and I can tell to some degree how low they are by how tired I am and how difficult it is, or how shaky, or um, whether or not I have the chills, or all kinds of other odd ancillary kinds of problems. And this morning, I was uh, pretty sure I was going to be in trouble when they did the blood draw, and the doctor saw the numbers. Uh, and I was right. I kind of dodged a bullet on Saturday because I really thought we would have a transfusion on Saturday because I was feeling kind of odd, and that wasn't the case. So I, I guess they owed me one. This morning the numbers had dropped even lower, and were close enough to the cut points that the doctor established for transfusions for him to uh, allow me to finish having my PICC line flushed, the dressing changed, and the blood draw, and going over all of the numbers and answering any questions that we had, and then making an appointment for me over at the Amini Center at the City of Hope, which is their apheresis center, the place where you either donate blood or platelets. If you've been one of the folks that have done that for us, I truly, I'm forever in your debt. There's no words for me to tell you how much I appreciate what you've done. Um, or it's also the place where you receive the transfusions, for the most part. And today I got the full Monty, I guess. I got platelets. I got more than a single unit of blood. Um, I got a neupogen shot. Neupogen is some kind of uh, chemical that stimulates white blood cell growth, and if I'm not mistaken, and hydration, which means a bag full of uh, solution, saline, uh, whatever else is in there. I don't know what's in there, and I don't purport to be a pharmacist. Uh, but it was an interesting day in the respect that for those of you who know me, uh, I'm pretty independent, or at least I try to be, and I'm a pretty good soldier when it comes to most things. I just put my head down and grunt it out. I did that when the symptoms first started to materialize, in we were on vacation in Europe, and rather than wreck the trip for everybody else that was there, I just put one foot in front of the other and made it work. Uh, but my numbers weren't as low then, and it was possible to get that done and still enjoy the trip. But it's still one of the very best trips we've ever had. However, they sent there are all kinds of protocols at the City of Hope. Everybody's got their own processes and systems, and they sent over a young intern to help accompany us from the Browerman Center, where the clinics are, to the Amini Center, where the blood donations and transfusions occur. And he asked me, candidly, if I needed a wheelchair, and the macho in me said, "No, of course not. I mean, I can walk from here over there. It's not that far. A few football fields, maybe. I don't know, a couple of 100 yards." Uh, but my counts had gone so low at that point, um, that by the time we got to the front door at the City of Hope, there's a beautiful fountain out there. It's just a gorgeous fountain, right in front of the building. And usually they have wheelchairs stacked up there from people that have needed the chairs to get to their cars once they've left the City of Hope, and then the chairs are there for people who get out of their cars to come to the City of Hope and need a wheelchair. And by the time we got to the fountain, I knew I wasn't going to make it to Amini. I mean, I felt like I was going to fall down right there. And I had to ask this young man, this intern, to get the chair for me. And that bothered the hell out of me. I mean, it was frustrating. It was a reminder that I'm still ill, and that and the kind of ill I am, and that I'm not myself. I'm not the person that I was before this all happened. And I kind of sat down in the chair grumbling about all of that. And then I started to think to myself, I'm bitching and moaning about having to sit in the chair. A couple of weeks ago, I was, in the middle of chemotherapy, trying to make sure that they could kill all my marrow and my immune system so that I could get the stem cell transplant and have a shot at getting well again, of being cured. And it seemed really silly. It seemed hypocritical to me that I would be bitching and moaning about something like that when I was fortunate enough to be bitching and moaning about something like that. And I was in much better spirits when we got to Amini, and I found my chair, and the hydration started first, and I got the neupogen shot immediately while we were in the clinic. But they started with the hydration, and then came the platelets, and then came the whole blood, red blood cells, and it makes you realize how lucky you are and how grateful you are that so many people responded, so many people gave blood and platelets for me, designated for me, knowing that I'm going to still need them for the next 6 months to a year. And how I felt before the transfusion, and knowing how much better I would feel subsequently. And the reason that I'm able to do this blog this evening is primarily because of the transfusion. Because if I felt the way I felt this morning, I wouldn't have even attempted it, because it would have been a hodgepodge of random, non-connected thoughts that wouldn't make any sense anyway. So for those of you who have given blood and platelets, thank you. For those of you who haven't or can't recognize, for those of you who haven't and can recognize how important it is, and perhaps consider doing it for me or for someone else or for anyone else, they're critical. They keep you alive. They keep me alive, and make living worth living. And they do the same thing for probably tens of thousands of other people across the country. And if you can't donate, we recognize that you can't, and love you just as much for wanting to, and for being frustrated that you can't. Right now, I feel terrific. I know I'm going to feel even better later on. I know I'm going to feel great tomorrow. We'll see how I feel on Thursday and what happens then. Until tomorrow, stay well, take care. Know that we all love you a lot and care about you deeply. That's it for me. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. Bye-bye.